How many miles? Honey?
Am I on, Tiff?
We can hear you.
Okay, good, finally. I usually get locked out.
You're in fine.
Okay, good.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you fine, Your Honor.
Okay, great. We can go on the record.
You're on the record.
Great. Thank you, Doug. Good evening. It is Thursday, September 11th, approximately 7 p.m. My name is Christine Burke. I'm a public utility law judge with the Maryland Public Service Commission. We're here today in case number 9772, which is captioned the application of TPE WO73 LLC for a certificate of public convenience and necessity to construct a 5-megawatt solar photovoltaic generating facility in Worcester County, Maryland. Tonight is the third public comment hearing in this case. There was a virtual public comment hearing on May the 6th. There was also an in-person evening public comment hearing at the Worcester County Library on August the 21st. And tonight is the third virtual hearing for public comment. As far as where this case stands, the parties have all filed their recommendations. That was done on August the 12th. There is a settlement status due to me on September the 24th. And if there are no remaining contested issues at that time, the evidentiary hearing in the case is scheduled to be held on September the 30th. The application is available for viewing by the public in two locations, the Worcester County Government Center, 1 West Market Street, room 1201 in Snow Hill, Maryland. The application is also available at the Town of Berlin Administrator's Office at 10 William Street in Berlin. Additionally, all the documents that have been filed in this case are publicly available in the electronic docket, which is located on the Maryland Public Service Commission's website at www.psc.state.md.us. I'm going to just demonstrate for anyone that is watching this evening on how to access the documents in the electronic docket. I'm going to share my screen. And this is the Public Service Commission's website to access. I'm sorry. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. To access the documents in the electronic docket, you would click on the blue-green button on the left-hand side of the screen titled Case Mail Log Portal. And on the next screen, you would type in the case number, which is 9772. Oops. And click search. And that is where all the documents appear in this case. The first docket number item is the application with all of the supporting documentation regarding the project. To access that, you would just click on the number 1 here, and you can either view or download all of the items that have been filed. To view the recommendations of the party, that would be, I believe, on page 4. If you just scroll ahead, those were, I'm sorry, page 5 would be the recommendations of the Department of Natural Resources, PPRP. Their direct testimony was filed on August 12th. That can be accessed at docket number 43. Staff counsel for the Public Service Commission also filed direct testimony on August 12th. That can be accessed on docket number 44. Just going to go back. Also on the home page are instructions on how to file public comments in this case. So this is tonight is the 3rd hearing. Written comments can also be filed electronically. The deadline to file comments is tomorrow, September 12th. To file a comment electronically, you would go under the Tools section of the Public Service Commission's webpage under Make a Public Comment. And there are instructions on how to file public comments electronically. There is a one-time registration in order to do that. To view the public comments that have been filed in this case, you'd go back to the home page. Right under where it says Make a Public Comment, you can click Search Public Comments, click Search by Case, and from the drop-down menu, select 9772, which is the case number. And search. And all of the comments that have been filed so far in this case will appear here. And in order to view them, you would just click on the View File button over here, and you can access those. And all comments that are filed either in the electronic docket, by mail, or made at this hearing will be considered by me when I draft my proposed order. Before we begin with the comment section or portion of the hearing, I want to have the parties introduce themselves. The applicant will give a brief overview of the project as well. And then the parties will also give their recommendations on the project. So if the applicant could please introduce yourself.
Hi, Your Honor. My name is Carla Weber. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. With me today is Ms. Frances Uhas, who is the Managing Director of Development at Turning Point Energy, as well as Heather Hutton, who is an engineer with Kimley Horn, and Ms. Tiffany and Helen Fawcett, who are the landowners of the property. So with that, I will turn it over to Ms. Uhas.
Thank you, and I apologize. I'm trying to figure out how to get my video to actually work. I mean, I can see it on there, but you can't see me apparently, and I can't figure out how to get rid of that solar panel.
Okay, I'm going to make you host.
Okay,
I
we'll
think
try
that
that. And
I just did.
at least I'll be able to share. Okay, now I'm trying to figure out how I'm looking for the little share button.
On Zoom, it's at the bottom. There's a green arrow.
Oh, there it is. You're right.
There you go.
Okay. You're seeing this presentation? Can you see that?
Yes.
Granny.
Well, great. Well, thank you again very much. And again, apologize for the video. I've got to figure out how to do that on Zoom. But thank you again for joining us this evening to learn about our planned community solar project for planned just off the west side of Old Ocean City Boulevard, just northwest of the town of Berlin. And again, I am Frances Uhas at Turning Point Energy, and I am pleased to work for Turning Point Energy and our project partners like Kimley Horn to enable projects to actually get built to help support Maryland's community solar program and their renewable portfolio standard. And, I do believe that this is a good project for this site. I've been working with Turning Point Energy or I've been I guess I've been working in solar energy for 20 years, and I've been working with Turning Point for the past 8 years, and the past 6 to 7 years, totally focused on community solar projects in Maryland. As a company, we've developed 5 gigawatts of projects over the years. And most recently, we have about 10 projects totaling 17, 20 megawatts, maybe, operating under Maryland's um, uh, pilot program. And obviously, we're here this evening because we would like to do additional projects for, under the permanent program. So, having said that, I often get asked, what is community solar? And in a nutshell, community solar allows those that aren't able to put solar on their own rooftops, the ability to subscribe to community solar and participate in the clean energy economy by subscribing to a solar energy project like the one that we're proposing this evening. Anyone in Delmarva Power's territory can subscribe to the energy, and under the permanent program rules, 40% of that energy must be subscribed by low to moderate income customers. And all customers can typically experience a 5 to 10% savings off of the standard or retail rate of DPL. As long as they're in DPL territory, they can subscribe with no long-term, commitment, upfront cost or commitment to them. So it is a win-win situation. And then, of course, there are other benefits. Obviously, there are the local jobs that are that we're all working on now in the development process. In addition to the actual construction, we talked about the energy savings off of DPL's standard offer, retail rate, and then there's the additional tax revenue to the county. So solar projects are typically assessed at a higher tax rate than the current agricultural tax rate, tax assessment. And so the county can use that revenue for whatever projects they deem appropriate, typically infrastructure projects that they have planned. And we're avoiding additional greenhouse gases, creating additional greenhouse gases by generating, electricity rather than using fossil fuels or other greenhouse gas emitting sources. Solar does not. So I guess in addition, finally, the community solar is temporary. It is not a permanent use for this parcel. So therefore, it's actually preserving the land for future farmers, future generations to farm or develop as is appropriate at the time. And therefore, we believe improving the soil health over time because it gives it time to regenerate. So that's kind of the basics of community solar. In the meantime, while it, as I said, while it is in its operational life for anywhere from 25 to 35 years, it's a quiet and congenial neighbor. It just sits there. There's no there's no long-term traffic, no additional traffic generated. No water or sewer infrastructure is needed. We are compliant with Maryland's noise standards. There's no emission, no glare, no light pollution. And as we discussed, and as Heather will discuss, their landscaping and the buffering will screen it from the surrounding neighbors and Old Ocean City Boulevard, which was a key comment that the leadership of the town of Berlin had requested. So we take that development, the community outreach early, we take that seriously. And early in the development process, I met with Miss Jennifer Keener and the staff at the Worcester County, to introduce Turning Point Energy, learn about their processes and, just get their feedback initially from about our planned project. She suggested that I do meet with the leadership of the town of Berlin, which we did. And those, as we said, those comments are included in our site plan. Mainly their concern was about buffering from Ocean City Boulevard being right on the edge of the town limits. And I seriously enjoy working with the public as we, in the early development phase, during construction, as well as afterward, to have constructive and productive dialogue with those interested parties, as I said, before, during, and after that development process. And again, as evidenced by our, I think, robust community engagement and investment track record, that I invite people to visit our website and they can see the investment initiatives that we've made over the years in every community where we work and develop projects. I'm happy to answer any questions about Turning Point Energy or the Maryland's Community Solar Program, but at this time I'm going to turn it over to Heather to provide an overview of the site plan, the site concept plan, and the technical description of the planned project.
Sounds good. Can y'all hear me? All right, great. Let's see. Would you mind providing me the ability to share screen here? Thank you so much. It's just telling me I don't have the ability to share. I guess I
think it got
telling me to
shared
send a
with my
request.
mom, Helen, instead of you, Heather.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks for noticing that.
You're welcome.
Okay, got it. There we go. Thank you all for your patience. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Just wanted to be able to provide a visual for the concept site plan here as we talk through the site layout here for this project. So again, my name is Heather Hutton. I'm with Kimley Horn. I am a licensed PE in the state of Maryland. Kimley Horn was retained by TPE and Franny and her team for the development of the ERD and the concept site plan that's included in the package. So we'll just go ahead and provide a description here of what you're looking at. So the project itself sits outside of the town limits of Berlin to the northwest. On the vicinity map up in the corner here, you can see the limits of the town of Berlin, and the project is outside of those town limits. The primary frontage here, the only frontage here, is along Old Ocean City Boulevard. The underlying zoning is the R2 zoning. The project is compliant with the Worcester County Code for utility scale solar energy systems to the maximum extent practicable, including a 50-foot setback around the entire perimeter of the property. There were environmental delineations completed in the preparation of this concept site plan that you see here. The findings were limited to a stream and a pocketed wetland here on the southwest corner of the site. A 50-foot stream buffer is provided along that feature, which is similarly within the 50-foot property setback. There are no proposed impacts to wetlands, streams, forest stands, or specimen trees associated with the project. There are 3 ditches that run parallel to each other within the western portion of the parcel. Those are to be maintained. Access will be provided across them, likely in the form of a pipe culvert there, so that vehicular access for construction as well as operation and maintenance can drive over those streams. I mean, excuse me, not streams, ditches. These are not streams. They're ditches that are non-tax ditches. Sorry for that confusion. The project's outside of the critical area. It is not within a tier 2 watershed. We have consulted with MHT and they've provided a response of no adverse effect on historic properties in the vicinity. We've also consulted with DNR and they've provided a response of no specific concerns regarding potential impacts to species. As Franny mentioned, the landscape buffering was discussed with the county staff, and the original plan that we had discussed with them included a 20-foot landscape buffer along the entire perimeter of the project. That 20-foot landscape buffer is shown along the western limits and the southern limits of the project. However, it was requested that we enhance the landscape buffer to a 35-foot width along Ocean City Boulevard, as well as the 200 feet kind of turning in on the northern corner and on the southern corner. So you'll see along that frontage, there is an enhanced buffer width of 35 feet to accommodate that request. The landscape buffering details are provided on the second page, showing that the width varies between the 20 and 35-foot width as discussed. The planting details are provided here as well, including deciduous trees that will be proposed as 2.5-inch caliper and evergreen trees that are being proposed at an 8-foot height. There will also be shrubs and understory trees as well. And that is what I wanted to highlight as a general overview of the project. I'm happy to answer any further questions on any of those items or any other questions or thoughts or concerns.
Your Honor, you're on mute.
Thank you. For the Department of Natural Resources Power Plant Research Program, I believe the project manager, Ginny Rogers, is present. Ms. Rogers, would you please introduce yourself and explain your role?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ginny Rogers, and I'm the Power Plant Site Assessor in the Power Plant Research Program within the Department of Natural Resources. As Judge Burke mentioned, I'm the project manager for the state's review of this project that we are discussing tonight. Ms. Uhas already mentioned this is a community solar project, and my agency coordinates independent reviews of these projects in a case called a Certificate of Convenience and Public Necessity. We represent the following state agencies: the Department of Natural Resources, the Department of the Environment, the Department of Agriculture, Transportation, Planning, Commerce, and as well as the MEA, that's the Maryland Energy Administration. After we review the project, the secretaries of DNR and MDE have gone ahead and recommended approval of the CPCN application as long as the Public Service Commission accepts the recommended license conditions that we have proposed. As Judge Burke already mentioned, if there are no objections to our filing, we'll have an evidentiary hearing on September 30th. We look at a variety of different concerns, including biological, noise, visual impacts, cultural resources, public safety and transportation, and as well as economic and fiscal impacts to the state. We do listen to the public comments at each and every one of these hearings, and if applicable, we try to incorporate them into our license conditions. We have a fact sheet on our website that it contains a summary of these issues. And again, sorry, there's something loud went by my house. Sorry, completely threw me off. All of our filed documents for this case can be viewed on the PSC website under case number 9772, and we will look forward to the hearing on September 30th, and I'm here to answer any questions if they arise. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to just say what your website is where the public can view that summary sheet?
Yeah, that's where I got
project?
thrown off. Hang on one second and let me check because I never know exactly what it says. It's in the projects under review. It's dnr.maryland.gov/PPRP /projects under review. That's it. So if the easiest thing to do would probably just Google Maryland PPRP projects under review, and it's a whole list of the projects we're looking at right now. And you look for, it's sorted by county.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For the technical staff of the commission, I think I saw Mr. Albert here.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, sure can.
Okay, Kenneth Albert on behalf of the commission staff. We have in fact presented a position on the project as we always do. The critical issue being whether we believe it projects in the public interest. We propose conditions that we think are necessary to mitigate the impacts of the project. Specifically, our testimony addresses the impacts of delivering this power into the distribution grid operated by DPL, that is the Delmarva Power and Light, just the local utility. We'll be advocating conditions along with PPRP that address the environmental impacts and impacts on the neighbors and such, so that would mitigate those again, so that the project would be in the public interest. We do encourage anyone who lives in the area who does have concerns. You can obviously, this is a forum to express those concerns, but also, as the judge explained, you can file written comments, and the advantage there is that ensures that your comments are part of the record and they would be addressed by the commission when they address the application here to construct this proposal. I'll confess that typically I love when we do these virtual hearings, Your Honor, because I don't have to travel. But last time we had this out in Berlin, and my wife and I had 3 wonderful days out there. So it's a mixed blessing to be doing this via Zoom, but I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. I will note, they believe that anyone here tonight is present that on behalf of the Worcester County Commissioners. They have filed a petition to intervene in the matter and are a party, but they, as of yet, have not filed any testimony, or expressed a position. So at this time, I can't speak on behalf of the county commissioners, but they are a party to the case. Since we've introduced everybody, in the notice that was issued for tonight's hearing, there were instructions to the public on how to participate in tonight's hearing. That included instructions on how to go on our website and sign up to get a Zoom link for this meeting. I do not have, when I looked in the meeting, I did not see that there were people signed up. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to speak, make a comment on the project?
Hi, Judge. I just want to reiterate how excited we are about this potential project on our farm. It's been in our farm. This farm's been in our family for over 100 years and has been farmed continuously. This site's only going to be on a portion of our farm. And
I'm going to interrupt you for one moment. Sorry.
Sure.
Could you just state your name so that the court reporter gets it and identify your role in the case?
Oh, sorry. My name's Tiffany
That's okay.
Fawcett, and me and my mother, Helen, are the landowners here. And this farm's been in our family for over 100 years, as I've said, and we really, really care about the area. And we just see all the benefits that this project will bring. It will help our land, the soils replenish, because this is our lowest yielding farm in the area. And so by putting solar there, our soils will get a chance to replenish. It also gives us a very innovative revenue stream that we wouldn't have, and we have other farms, and it's going to help us do some things. And it also gives us the flexibility in the future to return this to farming or to housing, whatever's needed. But I've been studying a lot about solar and looking at all the issues going on. And I'm noticing a lot of housing in the area and other things. And that was one thing someone said was, oh, our parcel might need to be used for housing. But if you look at a lot of just anything in Ocean City today, there is a lot of proposed housing in and around the area. So I just wanted to reiterate that I think this is also very good for the county. They're going to get a tax base without any additional strain on their infrastructure. There's no extra traffic. There's no need for sewer or water. And the only thing I've ever heard is sometimes we're listed as R2, which means they want it for housing. But about 20 years ago, we were approached by a developer who wanted to do housing, and we weren't sure, but we let him do some due diligence, and he was turned down for sewer and housing. So I'm kind of confused by all of that, but I just know that this 35 acres will benefit the state of Maryland much more by being used for solar than it will be for housing, because housing is permanent and solar's not. But we really want to keep this farm in our family, and I think solar gives us flexibility to improve our farm and to also help the state of Maryland meet its clean energy goals. So thank you for letting me speak. Mom, is there anything you want to add?
Did very well, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else present that would like to comment? I hear none. So hearing none, and because I've double checked and I did not see that anyone else signed up to participate tonight, I just want to remind anyone that is watching the instructions on how to make a public comment. I gave them in the middle. This recording of this hearing will be saved on our YouTube channel. And the website to do public comments is psc.state.md.us. The deadline to submit comments is tomorrow, September 12th. Thank you, everybody, for participating in tonight's hearing, and we can go off the record. Thank you.
Thank
Off the
you.
record,
Thank
Your
you.
Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.